That's the best segue on the internet. Thanks very much. Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Get Your Deck Out. As always, it's me, Old Emo Dave, and today we're having a Discord session, as usual. In my top left, we've got Scott, 1170G. And we have our friend with us today, friend of the channel, comrade of the channel. JMF is here in the top right. JMF.
Rad.
Hey.
I don't know if I should actually say that based on current terms, but hey, like, we've said it now. Pal, what's comrade in Welsh? Palio? Friendiau?
Comradiau.
Comradiau. Welcome. Tell the internet all about yourself, JMF. Why you're even, well, I say why you're even here. It's because we asked you in the Discord about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. But also, future channel reasons.
Yeah.
Plug.
Future channel reasons. Has been helping film some recent content of the channel. But also a rather good Magic the Gathering player, but let the internet know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm JMF, local Firestorm Cardiff player. Been playing Magic since Khans of Tarkir, which is now about a decade ago, which is a horrific thought. Also, I'll
Scott just died in tears.
Right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. And played for Wales in the World Magic Cup back when Nationals was a thing. And
got the playmat to boot.
Great playmat. Ridiculous cost to buy one of those 2018 mats now when they were only like €20 at the time.
There's a lot of old playmats like that, though, right? Like, there's some judge playmats that are like £300.
Yeah, I see that.
The Nationals playmat from the same time was worth a ridiculous amount. So if anyone's looking to buy one, hit me up.
Purchase at getyourdeckout.com. Yes, you see.
Yeah.
Was it Francis who came on the pod and plugged his eBay?
Yeah, Francis, I said, came on the pod, I said, anything you want to pod. Thinking, like, we just did a really good video with a deck tech. You might have wanted to do, like, some kind of sideboard guide. No. Just plugged his eBay so he could sell, like, DVDs. It was just like, you are a pauper player, mate. You really are. Like, it's good job.
A couple of Blu-rays. That's another place at a brainstorm.
I tell you. I said, another thing. I got another friend for the channel. He's mega into his Blu-rays, and like he turns that over through the CEX franchise of things, like buys and sells. And like I thought cardboard had this like weird sort of like internal economy. Blu-rays and DVDs, that's another one where I'm just like, whoa, mind blown. Don't go down that.
Is there a Blu-ray reserved list?
No, but like, so I'll give him a quick plug. My mate, name's James. He's these movies with James on YouTube. Right? This is a proper like in life mate, and like, I couldn't believe the ins and outs of Blu-ray economy. It just blew my mind. There's me.
Blew your mind.
It literally Blu-rayed my mind. It did, but. You two are the best example of magic Blu-ray in people's minds when it comes to like getting involved with like thinking about the game. Now, I will like hold my hand up and say Dirty Neck Decker. That's probably where I'm actually at my best peak physical form.
Uneducated.
Yeah.
Say,
is loaded up in the palette, get 25 games underneath my belt, take some better advice off better players and just jam it hard. You two got a bit of a different approach, which like, yeah, you share a bit of a common interest in.
Yeah, we're scholars of the game.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Basically, when we're meant to be working, me and JMF will fire old articles from the dojo, from old Star City, back and forth to each other, going, I don't like this, I like this. And we're essentially critiquing them, but we found someone a little while ago. I am going to get their name up because I do want to give them a shout out, but they've basically, neither me or JMF play Amulet Titan. I want to make that abundantly clear, but we shared a couple of articles from, it's the sideboard.substack.com. So shout out to you. We read your articles and we actually really enjoyed them. So fair play, because written media is a dying art.
Yeah.
Also, just the title of why you shouldn't play Prime Time.
Yeah, why you shouldn't play Amulet Titan.
Yeah.
Try to tell that to Leo Lu, like taking down two of the biggest, two of the four biggest towers.
Yeah, he should play Amulet Titan. And if you read the article, Dave, you'd understand why you shouldn't play Amulet Titan.
Oh, so it's like a homage to the top players should play it to win tournaments, and scrubs like me should not.
If you want to play Magic, you shouldn't play Amulet Titan. But if you quite like Amulet Titan, you should play it. And the gist is like the time investment you spend in it, you aren't really gaining those skills in Magic, just this one particular deck.
Yeah, they're Amulet Titan skills. They're not modern skills or Magic skills, really, because it's all unique.
So it's what I kind of liken, like back in the day, Hearthstone, and this is one for the OGs here. There used to be there's a card called Mechathune in Hearthstone, where ultimately it's like when you cast it, if your library is empty, you win the game. It's basically Thassa's Oracle for that. And I used to love that deck for the pure reasons of like there was a line to win this turn. And sometimes you had to just like risk it for a biscuit type of thing. And Amulet Titan's is just basically that. I wasn't learning to be better at Hearthstone. I was learning just how to execute a line at any given time.
I think me and JMF probably end up being more like Reno players, where finding all those one-offs and like all the weird cards that other people might have overlooked. Because we do spend a lot of time thinking about the game, we spend a lot of time reading stuff about the game and consuming content as well. That's something that me and JMF really hit the same notes on, for sure. And very often in the lead up to a tournament, we'll send our deck lists back and forth and then have an argument over the 15th sideboard card.
Yeah.
And then I'll go 0-3, JMF will make top 8, and I want to cry. That's normally what happens.
Yeah, and I'll resend the Patrick Chapin article about making your own luck.
Yeah, also that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot of really good articles out there. If people are interested in hearing some of our favorites, we can get a list together, I'm sure.
Yeah, what's the pros and cons though, guys? Like, as in, like, I get, like, as an educated person, a trainer by trade, that sometimes you need to do your research. Yeah, loose trainer, like literally got the tip.
Oh no, I'm saying that to educated.
oh, yeah, that one too. Like, is it something which like you don't suggest people do until like they've literally done their 1,000 hours to actually understand it properly, or would you recommend more to the beginner to like get educated first before getting the game reps in? Where's the sort of like the balance in the feed? You know, like how they sometimes say just play the game, and that's like day number 1, day number 0. When does articles start helping your game? Before, you know, when do they need to when do they come into your like learning and your enjoyment?
I think it's at the point in Magic where you actively want to get better at the game. And there's also like several different types of articles. Like there's a Reed Duke series of articles on the Mothership. I believe it's called like Magic 101. And it just, imagine if you were taught Magic by Reed Duke, like one of the best pros ever, and it's breaking down.
Orlando Magic disagree with you, thank you.
Yeah, I have a deep love of Reed Duke, so got to be biased there.
Oh, he's top 10. He's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
If that list was a little bit longer, his name would be on it.
Yeah, but just like break down the nuances of it, and from the very start of like, how do you play Magic up until like, what's the best combat trick to use? How do you get your opponent? So there's articles for that, and then a million deck specific articles, a million ones that now you've learned the game, here's how you should unlearn it and relearn it. The elephant method, looking at like deck construction as a set of 75 cards rather than 60 main, 15 sideboard. I know Scott's like a massive fan of that. Shout out to...
I refuse to build a side. Whenever I'm building a deck, so I've played a couple of brews in my time, might be an understatement, but I've played some on the channel. I'm sure I will end up playing more on the channel. I try my absolute hardest not to make a sideboard until the last moment, where I'll have 85, 90 cards in a deck. And I trim from there. It's not, I put this card in, then I put this card in, then I put this card in, then I think, oh crap, I haven't put any removal in, so I put the removal in. It's, you want to build it as a unit and as a block, because otherwise you end up with these, oh, I drew the wrong half of my deck sort of situations. And it's how you end up with random stuff happening to your deck list. Sometimes, like more than once, when MH3 had just come out, I had Consign to Memory in my main board, and people go, oh, but why are you mainboarding it? And I'm like, well, it does X and Y, and in these matchups it does a lot more, in these matchups it does a lot less, but then if it's bad in the matchup, you just side it out. 66% of your games, generally-ish, are post-board games, right? So people look at their main deck probably 90% of the time, and they only look at their sideboard for 10% of the time, when in reality you've got access to that sideboard for more than half of your games.
Yeah, you kind of did re-educate me with that as well, if I'll be honest, with like the sideboarding element. And you know, like this was the first game I've played where like sideboards were a thing and you had to sort of like think about it. And I always had this kind of idea of I needed to put certain types of cards in my sideboard, but actually in reality you should be thinking about what you need to bring into your sideboard to make this deck beat other decks. And when
if you're playing Wrath of the Skies in your main board, you don't need Meltdown in your sideboard, you know?
Exactly.
You might look at your sideboard and go, right, I'm going to have 3 graveyard hate cards, 3 artifact and enchantment hate cards, 3 cards for the long, ungrindy games, which is my least favorite thing ever. But I'm guilty of it, by the way. I'm guilty of, screw it, I'm going to put the Teferi Hero of Dominaria in my sideboard because I want to register it, because I like the card. I have found a way to squeeze the Wandering Emperor into every slow white deck I've played for the last 6 months because I really like the card. It helps that certain decks in Modern just absolutely can't beat it. Like if you resolve a Wandering Emperor against Esper Blink, they really struggle. But that's still in my thinking. I'm not registering Chandra Torture Defiance, even though it's one of my favorite cards of all time, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's probably one of the beauties of the game, the balance between pure reps, pure knowledge, pure goal and bravado to just like play, burn, and like play to your outs, or to think about deck construction to beat certain metas at certain times. And the game has a great balance. Unfortunately, we lost a bit, I think, in more recent times. Obviously, I before as my time started, Star City Games and stuff was still sort of feeling the back end of a COVID burnout, and then has unfortunately like petered out. We still have TCG Player, you know, there's great people like Emma Pardlow and like that who are still like writing, but it's more like the Magic game rather than the in-depth pro opinion, which is what you used to get from those sites, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Most of that is now just behind someone's Patreon or in their $300 Discord.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to that, isn't it? Like, and I, as someone like, you know, I am a member of a Patreon of Stanley 2099. I think like that, when I've gone into it the right mindset, which is I'm going to improve my aggro game, although like I didn't go there. I went there originally for, admittedly, a Cyborg guide, because I was like, oh, that's about the price of a Cyborg guide. I've hung around for the general takes, thought processes, preparation, bouncing ideas back and forth. obviously struck real gold with the fact that Brennan Roy was in the Discord as well, like as a effectively a peer until he went and binked 10k in Orlando. So for now he's kind of got a bit more positive EV than I have, but it's definitely been really great to sort of like have a collection of learning in the same place. And will there be a point in time where it'll drop off? I definitely think so. I think obviously as a point up until Liverpool and preparations there. After that, then obviously without having anything competitive to prepare for, you kind of find yourself like dumping out of them. Whereas I think with Star City Games and places like that, you sort of lingered around for the general knowledge and back catalogue, I guess, which has, like you say, just turned into more of a case of behind someone's Patreon or a very, very, very heavily advertised website, which for the life of you then you can't stop the pop-ups from coming on your phone 3 or 4 times a day. You know who you are, MTG Rocks, you know who you are.
It's like, so with a lot of articles as well, especially, is in the modern day it's easier than ever to make YouTube content. I mean, me and you were doing it, Dave, and we don't know our arse from our elbow.
True.
But YouTube content can get quite dated quite quickly, and people normally use that as an opportunity to drill in on one particular topic. So take Aspiring Spike, one of the leading modern YouTubers, content creators, Twitch streamers. If you watch one of his videos from even 3 months ago, you'll still learn things and it will still be at least kind of relevant, but he'll be talking about things and meta forces that aren't relevant right now. Whereas if you watch his video from yesterday, like I saw there was a new cascade, like beanstalkless cascade beans sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Which obviously piqued my interest as a former Cascade Beans player, but that's going to be nice and relevant and fresh. But then 2 weeks from now, it might feel a little bit outdated. It's why I know JMF is the same as me in that they consume a lot of Magic content on YouTube as well as reading articles. But I think we both tend more towards, say, like the Rhystic Studies of it all, where it's the eternal, can never be outdated, can never be beaten content, where you can just sit and watch it for hours and hours and hours. And it's almost like a documentary. Like Hungry on Plane's been doing really well recently. I've absolutely adored every single one of those videos. And it's meant I can teach people who Guillaume Waffa is and why, if you ever play against them, you should fear them. But I know that JMF knew Guillaume before that video. And I think that's why we vibe so well with sending the articles back and forth and talking about decks and theory. Is we've got a similar base that we're coming from, even though I've been upsettingly playing Magic for a little bit longer than JMF has.
I think the other thing with the difference between articles and videos is, like, articles do have some of that permanence there, even if the cards do change as standards change. It just lines up a lot better in terms of metaphors, where someone's literally putting something into print rather than just like a video where someone's like playing like a MTGO league and talking through it. There's a bit more like thought in the writing process than just like producing something, throwing it up, and then doing the same week after week.
Yeah,
it's easy to just click start recording on OBS. Well, sorry, I'm doing people a disservice. It's really difficult to click start recording on OBS and talk to yourself for multiple hours at a time. That is just really difficult. It's a lot harder to write 5,000 words and send that to an editor to be critiqued and then returned back to you like you're back in school again. Like someone's going to have been there with a red pen going, no, irrelevant, reword, all of that.
Oh,
where
100%.
You feel like you've put your heart and soul into this article and then it's been rebuffed. And editors have a really difficult job as well. That's something that I really respect Cedric Phillips for, because he was the editor at Star City for a long, long time. And they had some of the best articles. There's a reason for that. They had really good writers and a really good editor. So,
yeah. And it's the landscape change, but there's still a place. I think God, the $1 million idea, right? Is the balance of the two, is like the long form article, so to speak, if you will, and like that kind of stuff holding true and holding thing, because however much any given top content creator's next video bangs or that deck is great, you don't really get taught the fundamentals of why that deck is great, how that deck is great, what you should be thinking about when you play certain types of art. Just to say, it's a life gain deck, right? Like why that is the reason you can win and how you can make your edges. You don't see as much. You see the sensational plays, which are there to make shorts, but also, we love them too. And shout out to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more long form articles. That's what we're here for. And also the odd game.
Essentially, what podcasts are, right?
Sure.
Podcasts are essentially an article that you can listen to while driving to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why articles are unfortunately starting to drop off a little bit, is you can have a YouTube video on in the background.
Yeah.
You can't have an article on in the background unless you're very cross-eyed and you can look at two screens at the same time. I'm not sure many people are, but I can't read an article and play RuneScape at the same time. But I can sure as hell listen to a YouTube video and play RuneScape.
Do you know what I think you need, Scott? I think you need a 1 mana artifact that will add +4/+4 to your creature that's 5 or more when it comes out. That's Doc Ock's Tentacles. That'll help you be able to do more things at once.
Is that your attempt at a Spider-Man segue?
That's the best segue on the internet. Thanks very much. we are, but it is time. It is time. Spider-Man is here. I can't even look around and find Spider-Man cards because they've already got in the bulk box. Oops. Sorry, designers. Oh, there's one. Oh, spicy. We got prosthetic memory at home. I like it.
No, thank you. It is. I had a modern deck with Unstable Amulet in it, and that's Unstable Amulet 5 through 8, baby.
Fair. So we just come off pre-release weekend. That's the main news. It's probably the main Magic news, and the main Magic news is that in LGSs everywhere, there's a hell of a lot of pre-release kits still on the shelves. Now,
yeah, essentially, where we hosted 3. In fact, we have the 3 hosts sitting before you.
Yep.
Where Dave, you did Friday, JMF, you did Saturday, and I did Sunday. Yeah. And we basically all had 55%.
Yeah, half.
We normally have.
About half, if not worse, to a point where we never, to a point where like we just, nobody was even like boycotting. I know it's like, I almost would have, it felt like boycott numbers. It felt like organized protest numbers. In reality, it wasn't.
Didn't care.
Yeah, no, there was people playing Commander and like buying the odd Spider-Man pack and just going, YOLO. But like, there was just no hype. The perpetual hype machine, which we've been fed for the last year and a half of all of this, I feel finally came off the tracks this weekend. I was not surprised.
I think this is just what happens when you have a premium product at pre-release. So pre-release is more expensive anyway. It's a set which is quite bad in the grand scheme of things. Like if it didn't have the Spider-Man IP attached, this is like going to be like bottom 10 sets of all time.
Really? You think it's that bad?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some crap sets from back in the day.
Yeah.
But
at the time, they were okay sets, so right? So
yeah.
No. Fallen Empires and Homelands weren't even good like at the time they came out, and everyone knew they were crap. But yeah, with Spider-Man, it just feels like it certainly feels like an Aftermath set that they stretched to make larger, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is super similar to Assassin's Creed, where that didn't have to support the limited environment, and how many cards had an impact in, say, Modern. Like a few in the first 3-4 weeks, and then everyone realized
propaganda is in Assassin's Creed, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found that out that was Modern legal like 2 weeks ago.
Is there a single card printed in Assassin's Creed making waves in Modern now that we could recall off the top of our heads?
Not anymore.
You've got Basim,
So
Arbaz Mir.
Yeah, the two drop dudes, and is the one that sees lots of play in CDH, like, but that never saw play in Modern.
Wouldn't know. Yes, Yggdrasil as well.
I was going to say Yggdrasil saw play when Through the Breach was, but for the period of time when I was playing Breach, it like by the time it turned up, people had already stopped playing her in the deck. Yeah.
Card market never change.
Never change Greece.
If you look at Aftermath itself, isn't it only like Nissa the impacted standards?
I guess so. Like there was some cool cards like that Constellation enchantment card. That was a good one. The 3-drop one. I forget what his name was. But anytime you can, but it never really impacted. Calix, yeah.
Coat Vanguard. That's
human.
Oh, Blot Out, which was sideboard uncommon.
Yeah.
Training Grounds broke the format in half, as we all know.
Yeah.
Everyone was scared it was going to. It didn't.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of Cosmic Rebirth. I will say that. Not in Standard, but I've played a lot of Cosmic Rebirth in Modern.
But also, there's quite a gap between you playing a card and it being good.
That's true. There's also the Red White Pia. That was a pioneer deck.
And that's still. But I think like JMF was right there that it didn't really break anything. Like Nissa saw play.
That was it.
And what I don't really get with all of this, and I did have a stack. As I was to see my TikTok this week, I just posted some of my stuff that came. Like I fringely speculated around a few cards. Where it was like, that might see play, that might see there. It's about 20 quid spent. We're all good. Like don't need to go and buy a pack. I haven't bought a single pack. Well, I bought actually one collector pack for the content, and like, as I was opening the collector pack, like someone next to me pulled their second one of the soul stones, and I was just like, "Oh fuck this! The content's done." There's nothing in there's nothing in here. But what I don't really get is like nobody hated the Assassin's Creed set in the cadence that it was, right? So
it wasn't standard
legal. It was cool for a few reasons. So I'm even looking at some of I'm actually scrolled down on the page now. We got a Fatal Push. We got a Go for the Throat. We got Assassin's Trophy. There was a Rest in Peace.
Oh look, skins. Oh, the thing that they should be doing with you.
Yeah, so we got essentially skins for all staples. Yep. Some cool cards. We got those lands as well. We got the ones that you play in Modern, the Fiery Islet and all that.
Horizon
Lands. And it was just okay. Like, and did we ever buy it for half price in the store? Did we ever see those packs cheap?
I mean, I didn't buy any of it, but buy singles, kids, and that is financial advice.
But we never saw that set, quote unquote, tank. Like it was there, it was bought, it eventually ran out, it came back into stock, eventually ran out.
But I think they also, it feels like they overestimated Spider-Man.
Oh, 100%.
It feels like coming into it, they thought it was going to do better than Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not sure if that is a misunderstanding of Final Fantasy fans, because they are by and large absolute lunatics for their IP and they love it and adore it. And it's like all they want is Final Fantasy stuff. Yeah. Whereas with Spider-Man, they're very much normally older, especially if you're talking about comic fans. And they are interested in the Marvel universe, not necessarily only Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's a low power set. And it's smaller. The draft format is weird. All of these things, I think, have just conglomerated into Spider-Man has probably done worse than they thought, and it feels like it has from an external perspective. Obviously, we need to wait until the Hasbro earnings call to try and see if we can glean from that information. Like, I think they said Final Fantasy broke the record that Lord of the Rings set in 6 months. Final Fantasy broke that in a week.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So that set obviously sold incredibly well. I feel like Avatar will do better than Spider-Man, even though by and large it is a smaller IP where it probably has less fans worldwide. But I think the crossover, first of all, the crossover of Avatar fans and Magic players is going to be larger. And secondly, the IP actually fits. It's at least monks and magic.
Yeah.
Whereas New York is taxi drivers and pigeons.
Bagels.
I think another thing that I haven't really seen anyone mention about the Spider-Man set is I also bought one pack just because, like, it's probably all I'm going to open of it. It's just one pack for the sake of saying I opened one pack. I got the Alt-Art Reanimate, which pretty cool. But a friend of mine is like really into Spider-Man, and I checked them in the pack to look through, and they looked through the pack and they were like, I thought this was a Spider-Man set. Where's all the Spider-Man characters? Because it was only Madam Web in the pack that they recognized, and they didn't recognize like any of the non-legendary cards or the other legends.
Selfless Police Captain or Taxi Driver, like, unless it's something named or it's like Daily Bugle building.
Exactly.
It could just be like, oh, is this the New York set? Like,
yeah.
I think though, this kind of like sums up the terrible misses, right? Like the loaded money gun, which to be fair to the powers that be, since about Tarkia has been charged and spot on the target. Tarkia hit the numbers.
Stop printing fucking Aftermath. That's what we've learned.
Yeah, we learned that. We learned don't print Aftermath. We learned do good IPs maybe once a year for a full tentpole, because we'll suck it up. We'll eat it like we ate Lord of the Rings up. We ate Final Fantasy up.
I think that is also relevant, right? Is you said do it once a year, but that's in our wishful thinking mind of there's 4, maybe 5 standard sets a year. Whereas I think it was Edge of Eternities came out 7 weeks ago.
Yep.
And now we've got a new set. We've got a Pro Tour this weekend for Edge of Eternities, and Spider-Man is the most recent set. That is too much, and the burnout is real. We have perpetual spoiler season. I couldn't name you many cards from Avatar.
No,
off the top of my head.
I don't want to yet.
That have been spoiled.
I don't want to yet. Like,
yeah, but they've already been spoiled, right? And we're having that going to be forced down our throats soon. For what it's worth, I have much less of an issue with Avatar than I do with Spider-Man. But I still don't want it. I don't want to look at the cards. I don't want it yet. Let me digest the impact that Spider-Man is going to have. If I absolutely must digest the impact that Spider-Man is going to have on Standard, Pioneer, LOL, and Modern, give me some time to bloody do that. Let me enjoy casting Masked Meower with Carnage for a bit.
Well, you have no time to consider it, because we this weekend have the pros in the Eternal formats that Modern.
It's also going to change nothing in Modern, I'm fairly confident. We'll see.
Yeah, that comes this weekend. So Modern Pro Tour hits. It will be Edge of Eternities limited, I think. Although there is the meme here that it should be Spider-Man, it's a really great limited set.
I don't want it to be Spider-Man, because then you've got 4-person pods and we're doing pick 2 draft, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
But
you got the draft trophy. You went 2-0.
Oh gosh, could you imagine? That's what it would be. That's how it would work out. But it's going to be avoided. Modern is kind of come back to the fore. The thing we've said week in, week out through all this is actually we're still very happy with where Modern is at the moment. Current Standard continues to seem to insert maybe 1/2 cards a set into the top tier, which is nice. It's a nice on-ramp to where the standard players could be in 3 or 4 years, is to have a good selection of modern cards. Quantum Riddler is the most recent of those. We're seeing pretty much played universally where it can be. What thoughts do we have on what's going to be dominating this weekend? I think we could probably start off with nothing from Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. But if you go through the most recent challenge results, that's basically the best indicator we've got at the minute of how things are looking on Modo. Shout out Bamzing on Reddit for always posting them, labeling all of them, having links to the decks. Makes it super easy to look at all of that. You've basically got, what is it? It's Boris Energy, Esper Blink, Belcher, Tron. That's probably tier 1.
Shout out JB for reigniting the format with that.
Yeah.
And I'd say tier 2, you've probably got Amulet. Tier 2, you've probably got about 30 decks, right? Where it's random crap you could pick up and win a tournament with. Where you've got the Grixis reanimated decks, Domain Zoo, Amulet Titan, Affinity, Gorios, Prowess decks, Gory decks.
Even Neobrand could come out of nowhere and do well.
Put that in tier 2 as well, like Neobrand decks. I wouldn't be surprised if someone ended up playing some form of Omnath control deck, blue-white control with or without Orum's Chunt, and Icecrown Scepter with or without Narset Days Undoing. Frog, as laughable as that deck feels like every single time I've seen it, it's just Psychic Frog and 71 other bad cards. And
you could even argue that, like, with the diversity in the meta, but also a certain top tier that you'd be fighting, somebody like a Ruby Storm could just sneak their way through a field. Like, it's crazy open, and this would be really interesting conversations in testing teams right now about what the plan was for such a high tier, high level tournament with this level of potential diversification.
I mean, Pro Tour Nardu, Kai Buddha and John Finkel and LSV all ended up on Storm, right? And I think it had a 30% win rate over the weekend. So I'd be scared of Storm.
But that was against Nardu, though.
Sure, but they said that they had a good Nardu matchup, right? But I don't think anyone had a good Nardu matchup.
Yeah. What thoughts would you have, JF, about like the type of thing you'd be bringing in it if you were involved here at the top tier? Would you just be honing in on what you know best? Is the meta kind of got any area to exploit at the moment, or is just modern nice and finely tuned and balanced, and the best players win?
I think Modern's in a good state at the moment. I'd probably be on the red-green Eldrazi deck with the Icefall Tiller
from Ice Explorer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Goryo seems good as well. I think like it's really like wherever is your deck, you can happily turn up and play it and get the reps in and hone in on what you enjoy. Which is kind of a sign of a healthy format.
I would say the only thing I've learned from these events coming up is to not get baited by the current Modo results this week, because you got to remember, like, probably like the top 80 to 100 players aren't online this week. They're either testing or they're hiding what they're doing. So just looking at literally yesterday's challenge, Mill won, Domain Zoo was second and third, Affinity was fourth, and then you had Belcher fifth, Control sixth, and I just look at it, and obviously the pet deck of choice, we had a Mockingbird in seventh on Mockingbird Energy. Velasquez 14 knows what's up. It's only taken.
Someone let the dive down know.
Well, I owe them another $5 for quoting them. But it's just
context for people who don't know. Dave played Mardu Energy, but put one Hallowed Fountain and one Mockingbird in his deck. top-8ed a modern for goodies that hosted by Axion Now. I said, how the hell did you make the mana work? And he said it was really simple. I didn't draw the Hallowed Fountain all day, and I didn't draw the Mockingbird all day. So, true content creator.
Top 8, baby. That's all we can say. That's all we can say. Come back to talk to me when you've got a modern for goodies top 8, everyone. That's all I'll say. It was
you saw how I performed in the most recent Modern for Goodies because it was all on camera and I made mistakes.
It was a Murders the Karloff Manor collector box, which made me about £14 worth of value when it was taking away the lands. I would probably say exactly what you're saying and more. Beyond we'll see a lot of great Magic this weekend. I think Modern's somewhat healed post Modern Horizons 3 shake-up. I just don't think we need another one like ever again. I'll even say this: you just keep reprinting, keep feeding. Like, you can go back. I probably could go back 9 sets now and tell you what modern staple has been printed into standard. And like, let's just keep having that happen. Keep the pipeline coming. Like, people can acquire their Overlords, their Oculuses, their Slick Shot Show-Offs, their Mockingbirds, and just
Ephemerate's up to €4 each, by the way.
But yeah, and it's just got reprinted though, right? Which again is another example of
common.
But if we just keep getting reprints, we keep getting everything like fed through the system everywhere in Assassin's Creed style universes decks, we would have been okay. But we said enough on the Spider-Man, and it's time to sort of like pack up and move on, because we do, with this event this weekend, we look straight to the future. We have had that advice that Magic Con is going to bring the 2026 lineup, which I think we got a couple of invested interested now. We got some real hot questions to take, so let's just see what our overall takes are. I'm going to be the host and go last on each of them, but we'll start first with question 1. Coming to JMF. The one big takeaway is we're going to learn how many sets are getting printed in 2026. What number are you putting on it, and how many are going into standard, and how many are another?
I'd probably go like 2 more than this year, however many that is. And I'd probably go all standards. Like,
so if there's be eight sets next year,
I don't foresee it like getting any better, and I can easily see it going worse. Like, if they're doing Marvel sets, I could see them doing a set where it's like Avengers versus X-Men, and you buy the Avengers box or the X-Men box. Kind of similar to like
2 sets rolled into one.
Yeah,
almost.
Exactly. Like Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, where they like release like on the same day or something.
Honestly, that's I could honestly see that.
Yeah.
But I'd say 6. I think they've listened enough to feedback, while they need to maintain a certain amount of continuous profit, and Hasbro shareholders need to buy another yacht, as I always say.
Not enough yachts in the world.
Yeah, I think 6 sets feels like an upper limit, where I could see them doing extra things around it. I could see them doing like another Assassin's Creed style thing. Maybe it's that Nickelodeon set that they're talking about doing, where they do like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mini set, but that's just modern legal, because I don't think even WotC are crazy enough to try and put 7 sets into standard in a year. But we're also now coming into the year where they were designing these sets with 3-year standard in mind. And to do that, and to have a future testing league as they do, you need to know what's happening and when. And I hope they've learned from their mistakes. I hope they're going to print less good 1 drops and 2 drops and cards that pay you off for drawing cards, because like Prof's Eidetic Memory is too much, Mako is too much. Obviously, singly they're fine, but it's when you put them in that environment and you throw them all together, there's no reason to be doing anything else, which is why we've seen nothing but red cards for the last, year and a half in Standard. So I'm holding out hope for 6 sets next year. My ideal would be 4, but that's not going to happen. And I do think you are absolutely right on that, JMF, is that it's not going to get better. I think the best we can hope for is it plateaus.
I think the other thing is, I think it's too late to correct. If they're trying to like ramp up sets and sets, like it'll be like the year after next, we might see a correction, or even the year after that.
They did move Lorwyn into next January only like 6 months ago, though, right?
They did, yeah. It was originally going to be.
They swapped Lorwyn and Spider.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because I think
they can move stuff. They can delay stuff.
I think Spider-Man, though, in the size it was planned to be a January release, and then the first of the new year. I'm gonna give my take, because it's unfair if I don't. I think we're going to see 5 standard sets. I think we're going to see a January, April, June, August, September, November. I'm going to even call that 6 I've just done in my hand. We might see 6, boys. But no, I'll stick with 5. And I think we're going to see 2 straight to Eternal format sets. I think we're going to see something linked to one of the Marvel IPs. I think the thing we got to remember, although like it would be even cooler, like we recently saw an Avengers Doomsday trailer just get done. We actually won't see Marvel Universe stuff, because it's all about the comics. So they've always said that. So I think we'll see like a big Universes Beyond set go straight on, and also then another one that might be part of Standard. But then I think we'll see
you're saying 6 sets but 5 standard sets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that I think we'll see that. I think the prediction I will put to this as well, though, is I think we will see a lot more precons. I think we will see a regular feed of precons in 60 card constructed format, and I think we'll go to still a lot less commander precons. I think we'll probably see more the avatar cadence, which is like, we'll give you a commander bundle, build one, and they'll just filter them in throughout the year in the magic sets because they'll be cheaper. But I've got a little bit deep on that one, but I think we'll see
how does that copium smell, Dave?
Well, I'm on a lot of Lemsip at the moment because I haven't been too well, so maybe that's what's hitting hard. But
that's for you, listeners. We're fighting through it.
But could be good, could be no worse. We still feel like we could get hit by a brick, though. The thing which we will be here this time next week, though, having is a funeral. If when the RCQ formats get announced, we don't see the return of Pioneer. That's another thing that is going to be announced on the weekend, or at least in line with the weekend. We will have an update on the Path to Pro Tour for the 20. It's technically the 26 season, because technically it starts late November this year, after Worlds. So
yeah, they're basically going to tell us every set next year and what the RCQ formats are, right?
Yes. So that means we'll get 3. Well, we'll get next year and the one that runs into the year after. So the November to.
Oh yeah, because we're currently in the first standard season. We've got another standard season after this, which runs into next year.
Yeah, into the end of March. And then
seasons.
So we'll have the April to June, we'll have the August to November, then November back to April. I've been on that copium. I do believe that we are going to see the return of Pioneer. And I am going to call that the order that we're going to get these next year is we're going to get Pioneer in April. It's going to be followed up by Modern, because we'll have
like the Elmo meme.
And then we'll be back to Standard just as we hit just to go along with the new rotation of 20, because bear in mind, remember 2027 is going to be the start of the rotation hitting in January. So we don't get a rotation in August next year. So I think we'll have standard filtered into the new standard year, because that'll be kind of an interesting thing, like seeing off standard one year, bringing it into the new standard the next. There's my take, boys. Who wants to go with a counter take?
I think if you're arguing for Pioneer to come back, everyone just wants standard to rotate currently. So having a format where it's like all the cards that you want gone are now good is.
Are you sick of
lined up
being
correctly?
Cauldron?
Yeah, but like I quite enjoy playing Pioneer, and I love it to come back. And if they're trying to push like Universes Beyond in standard, that's the set to push beyond standard to have the UB cards be powerful.
Pioneer Masters UB edition.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough Lemson for that one, boys. That's just like.
What do you reckon for the formats then, Gemma?
I feel like just like standard modern, just keep it running.
Same as this year, basically.
Yeah, same as this year. And like maybe they just forget Pioneer exists and then announce a different format where it's like Pioneer.
The return
plus,
of Frontier.
Yeah. Explorer in paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. Nah, I reckon it will be triple standard.
No way. Yeah. Oh, no way.
I know I'm normally the doom and gloom guy, and you're normally the happy guy, Dave. We've got JMF sitting nicely in the middle. He's sometimes happy, sometimes a bit depressed with me. But the third RCQ slot is definitely going to be standard, because the World Championships is in December every year.
Yes.
So, and they will always do that as standard, because they just do now. So that third one's always going to be standard. So that leaves us with two more slots. I think it is modern standard or standard. So I agree with JMF, or think it will just go to RCQs are just standard now, and they will just hope that modern will self-sustain because of how many people are already pre-invested in it, and just hope that other people will put the legwork in and organise the tournaments for it, like your Axion Nows, like your Energies.
Like your Ultimo Daves.
Except you told me that might not even have a modern portion of it, which, unbelievable, Dave.
No, it will. It will.
How sure are you?
33% sure, because that's how many formats there are.
Ooh.
What would happen if they turned around and said, we're just going to tell you the regional format, but run whatever RCQs you want?
Unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Because then you could do whatever you wanted with it. Like you've got, look, for this season, the RC is Pioneer, and you've got your 4 slots to give out. So, first of all, make organising it easier, and make it cheaper. Like how much a 2-slotter for like 32 people is like 500 quid.
So I done the deep dive on this, and this is something which is like in long form research, and when I've got all my ducks in a row and I know that I've validated my information, the video that is in process on my hard drive will get processed. But Star City Games, I know, right? You try to obfuscate it, you try to block it. People have told me how much it costs. Fanfinity, I know how much it costs because I paid your invoice on behalf of a third party company, LGS. Who will not buy some games, someone else, not to diss my own people. There is $120 difference between a seat for the UK to America. And if you are a premium shop in America, you get 2 seats for one. So us at Firestorm,
That's how we end up seeing these like 5-player 2-slotters in the middle of fuck Alabama.
Yeah, they've paid $70 American to get this shipped to their store, because it's $60 plus $10 plus $10 tax. Get it shipped to their store. They get the blinking promo like badge things of it as well over there, which you have to pay an extra €50 for over here.
Yeah.
And yeah, the barrier to playing and the barrier to having these events. Now, I know this business, and I know they need to put these on, right? I know they need to do them. And the difference you got in America, SCG are putting on a convention regardless. So they already kind of in their running costs have absorbed their conventions. Where over here, Fanvinity haven't. This is like Europe. This has got a lot more different like setup costs and like travel costs. And they've gone with a model of, we're going to fund these conventions before you all get here, and that we don't have to make there be like any way that we make money out of the event. I get that, but Wizards, you need to sort that out. That's on you.
Well, that's us complaining about it, and we've got it better than say South America.
Yeah.
God forbid you live in Africa and you want to play Magic.
Yeah,
I think the other thing is the costs are so high at the moment, and it's like you just turn up and play the VB mirror over and over again.
It's like the cost. I'd pay £35 for a modern RCQ right now, because you know you're going to see like some variation. The games are going to be interactive and fun, and Vivi is fun. I'm going to hold my hands up and say that Vivi is fun to play with and against. It's really difficult. It's really interactive. There's a lot going on. JMF's been playing it this season. Desperately wants to try and qualify so he can turn around and sell it before it gets banned.
Yeah.
It's really intricate. It's really difficult, and it is really fun to play. What's not fun is A, playing against it 6 times in a row, and B, playing against what ostensibly feels like a legacy deck when I'm there trying to play Boris the Spider Rider and Llanowar Elves.
Boris the Spider Rider.
Shout out Boris the Spider Rider, by the way. That's Ben Riley, Scarlet Spider, the web slinging guy you mentioned, Dave.
Yeah, it's Boris.
Through the Omen Pass is Boris the Spider Rider. Wizard, why the fuck haven't we got that already? Please.
Such a good card.
Boris the Spider Rider is a work of art, and I would die for him.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, Through the Omen Pass is definitely a discussion for another day about missed opportunities with just Magic sets as we go.
You want to talk about printing 2 sets at the same time? Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you just said right here,
I'd pay an extra £5 a card to get it in in universe.
Do you know like when the first orders to LGSs went out for Spider-Man, there was like this sort of rumor that circulated that there was only going to be 1 print run, and if that had happened, I think but then they'd have just followed up with the Through the Omen Pass in paper. I think this would have been like a pretty cool way of doing it, because you would have had perpetual hype of go to get what's available, and then we would have just had game pieces that we would have all been happy with as well.
I think the confusion in paper just ruins that, where you're like, oh, is this my Norman Osmond Green Goblin, or is this my Gleam?
Yeah,
why is my deck illegal? I've got 2 Norman Osborn, I've got 3 Gleam or whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, but they're the same card. It's like, well, they're fucking not, because I can see they're not.
Well, I've been on the Magic Online account earlier, starting to build some decks out for this week when obviously we get access to new cards, and it just looked weird. So especially, the little pet card of mine, the Jackal Scientist card, the
Jackal Genius Geneticist.
Yeah.
The name that Dave can't say.
Yeah, okay. I won't even try. What should I do? Jackal Genius
Geneticist.
Genius Geneticist.
There we
go. Sorry, what was that? You just cut out Dave?
For the audio listeners, I am giving the signs.
It's like anaesthetist and anesthesiologist, right? That's the same thing.
Cool Whip, isn't it? Another one.
Cool Whip.
The card is called Druneth, Reviver of the Hive in the Through the Omen Pass, right? And
I don't care about the Through the Omen Pass versions now. They've managed to give me in-universe versions, and because of how it's laid out, I don't give a shit because I want to play in paper, and there's no point me learning all the Through the Omen Paths cards.
Yeah.
There's no point because I want to play in paper. And God forbid, Dave, if you and me are commentating and we need to recognize cards, but to learn the format for the event, we've been playing on Modo. So then we go, is that Boris or is that Ben?
I mean,
that was the start of the episode right there. Is that Boris or is that
Boris
Ben?
or is that Ben?
The other thing is, like, if you've exclusively been playing in paper and then you go on Arena or MTGO and you play Pissing Needle, what do you Pissing Needle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just report a bug on Modo and just look like an absolute loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get an email back from Daybreak and they're like, yeah, sorry, you're wrong. Like,
oh, man.
I'm not wrong. I've got the physical card. And they're like, yeah, but it's this on our platform because Daddy Watsy didn't consider licensing agreements fully, apparently.
Because he just couldn't afford it. That's crazy.
Bullshit. I know Hasbro don't have a lot of money, but bullshit.
But you know, like,
good enough, there it is.
The important thing, we now have a clear run up to Liverpool to start looking at what we'll be playing. We also have, obviously, our own tournament coming up at the start of next year. So January 4th, if you would like to join us, we will be in Gloucester at Full Fire TCG, hosting our first invitational. Where if you want to be in it, you need to be in it by winning it. Our first winner, Dan Allen, shout out to you, Dan, won our RCQ just a weekend or two ago on Mono Red. Was the first person in. First prize is going to be £1,000 worth of value, provided by ourselves and Full Fire for this event. Where can you qualify?
Just as a by the way, our stickers retail at £500.
Yeah, because there's only about 4 left over here. I've been 5. The Temu Japanese collector edition editions are going to be with us before October 1st. So if you do see us after that day, you should be able to get yourself hold of one. You can also qualify in Cardiff. The next time is going to be on October the 4th. You come down to the RCQ, you'll see Scott, you'll see JMF. We'll be there, probably even playing because, like we've get the judges down for that. Battling. You'll have to split the finals with us. Give us the RC invite. You can have the seat for this.
Give them the business.
Yeah.
After the appropriate discussion away from the table. But also most importantly, like we're
Dave, you're shit. Give me the slot.
Yes.
Dave, I'm not giving up the slot. Even if I lose, you'll have to give it to me anyway because it's your tournament.
Yeah, you can't play in your own invitational, man.
Yeah, but
why not? By the way, why not?
Because we need to make a spectacle.
If you win one of the events, get in.
We should do a poll on Twitter about that. Would you like to play against us?
You need to commentate it, Dave, though.
Yeah,
that's why you can't play.
That's true. Because there's this little there's a little thing called content, right? Which we supposed to do to make this channel live. And also, you are still even listening to this content. You gotta have subscribed by now or followed on Spotify. And we should start plugging the Instagram. We're gonna start really pushing that through over the coming weeks as well. So if you are a proper boomer and you've got Instagram, but you're a cool boomer who's got rid of their Facebook but kept their Instagram, anybody just follow us over there too as well. But Full Fire over there, they love their Facebook and their Instagram. They've got their full dates available where you can qualify for this with in-store play. They are running multiple tournaments. They are committed to it. They're running multiple formats. And it's a great store. People have seen it on our videos and been around. There you go, this top in the Instagram.
I already followed it. Thank you.
The blur doesn't show the full Fire deck box.
Yeah, so
Alas.
just a great store to go to. I think they literally epitomize the whole idea behind the tournament series as well. Is like in-store paper play with fantastic vibes, fantastic stock, fantastic people, and that's the big reason why we're doing this, is to get bigger name for them on the map, to give back to the communities who support us and the type of people who listen to this content. So those dates will
they are the epitome of that vibe of no, let's battle, let's give them the business. They're just the epitome of it.
So when the idea came up, and this is the little thing behind the scenes, it was like, you need to win it. So like that was like, Ben was like, let's give money away. Let's make sure there's great money at the top. But to be able to win the money, you have to have like earned it. And I was like, yeah. I like, so many people like get play point giveaways and all that nowadays, or like they win like their commander bundles from like epitome of like webcam commander stuff. And I'm like, yeah, why don't you just like get in a tournament, learn your deck, read your articles, grind,
get your deck out,
win a tournament.
Good branding.
Yeah. I love this is what this is all about. So join us there. Join us for our next event. Join us next week. Next week we will continue this talk. Later on this week, I'm having some chats myself with some of the UK LGS runners, people who have also sort of had this like Spider-Man fallout, and just want to see how it goes there. We'll probably interweave that into next week's podcast somewhere. Also, keep an eye on my Twitch channel, Old Emo Dave, where we'll also be streaming a lot of the new cards thanks to Daybreak Games and our access to the Magic Online account. We will be jamming some brews over the coming weeks. Scott as well, maybe. You never know. He might turn his PC on and hit go live. We'll see what happens.
My PC is on right, David. The fact that I am trying to buy a house and I have been extremely busy is nothing to do with me.
But he's got plenty of time to get his deck out. So have you. We'll see you on the next episode. JMF, thank you for joining us. See you next time. Now Scott usually says something like really witty for me to add on to the end of the show, but like he probably
witty,
doesn't.
More like titty, witty.
And that's why we're on restricted mode on every YouTube.
Yeah.